Alexander Maury. And what's crazy for you guys is that I'd seen a bunch of your content, but your last post cracked me up so much that I DM'd him. I don't DM anybody. And I was like, bro, you're hilarious.
Slid right
Your
in
defense
there.
lawyer told me that.
Slid right into his DMs. Very happy. He's 2'6". He's weighing 264 right now. Those are good numbers. And I think he's every bit of. He weighs 264 pounds.
264 solid ass pounds?
264
and he's
lean, by the way.
Lean.
Make sure you get that in.
No, let's get that in. And he'll tell you he's 6'4". He might be 6'3", but if he said 6'4", I'm going with it.
Listen, I wore my cowboy boots so I could be 2 inches taller. Because we all know we need the extra 2 inches.
What's the real number? Give it to me.
You know, it's like 6'2 3/4.
Ooh.
But hey, if you're 5'11", you're 5'11 3/4, you're calling yourself 6 feet. So I'm calling myself 6'3".
Did it for years, bro. Did it for years.
I'm on the opposite end of the height bubble for the normal distribution.
You reduce down?
I reduce. I tell people I'm 4'11", and then they see me in real life like, dude, you're not as short as you say,
Lower
bro. And I'm like, fuck
expectations,
yeah.
over-deliver.
Fuck yeah.
Well, I'm always around people like Shab, so people think I'm much shorter in person.
Because he's a monster.
Yes, and then they see me and they go, Jesus, you're not just charismatic, but you've got there's a real fluidity to the way I move.
The first time I saw your body, I want to be very clear about what I'm saying. Oh, I get to that.
Yeah.
First of all, I have X-ray vision, so it's all unclothed to me.
Yeah.
I was like, I want you to take this in a very specific way because I mean it in a very specific way. When you told me what you weighed, I was struck at two problems with that at the same time, and they're contradictory. On the one hand, I was like, how can a man with such bulbous, gorgeous, flowing, dare I say nearly West African shaped muscles such as yourself,
there's a belly to the
possibly
muscle.
only weigh what you weigh?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I was also like, how does he weigh so much? Because his body doesn't account for all that weight. Then I saw what I like to call the monster. It.
Yeah. My piece.
It disturbed me that was real.
It ruined your day.
It ruined my life.
Yeah, I know.
Because I had this, I think all of us are under the illusion that we all have like a pretty normal sized dick.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to be a size king.
I'm not under any of those assumptions.
Oh, my man.
No.
Excellent maturity.
I want
to
get to Roman on his piece.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. So I was in my towel. It was a hot day. Things were hanging low. I'm an older man.
Sure.
And my buddies Nick and Nick, who you know, Nick Collis and Nick Simmons.
Oh, the sex offender guys.
Yeah. Gave it a peek. I gave him a little peek, and
for free.
Yeah, and Nick called his brother.
Nice.
Nick
Why
called
do you
his
make
brother
me pay
about
money
it.
out there?
I know.
You're new.
Because I'm unpredictable, bro. Now,
Wild card.
That's a good.
Thicker than.
Fuck
my yeah.
Dude.
And it's so weird. Now he's getting into arm wrestling.
Why?
And I was with his wife, we were eating, and I said, "What are you weighing?" He goes, "About 380." And his wife goes, "Can you tell the truth, please?" Like, seriously.
He undershoots his weight?
Oh yeah, of course, because he's like, and he couldn't be just more lean. And he's like, okay, maybe, I don't know, 4. She goes, And he's like, I don't know, maybe 405, 410. Like, and when I say he's 6'9",
yeah,
and trim as fuck, it's so different. He took 300 pounds and threw it over with one hand.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's different.
He was using a kettlebell 270 or something, and he goes, this kettlebell weighs 100 pounds more than you, dude. Keep that in mind when I see you tonight. Just sends me a video like that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I always wanted to take one of those pro strongman guys.
Yeah.
And just train him like in a very specific game.
Oh my
and just have him go to Masters Worlds and just like
win. So he did.
So easy.
So he was going to take an MMA fight. Called me up. I put him together with my buddy Cody at High Altitude Jiu-Jitsu, and he was training with Derek Wolf. I don't know if you know Derek Wolf, but yeah.
What did Derek say?
Derek, who was a Pro Bowler, defensive end, couldn't be scarier. 6'6", and a Viking, bro. I mean, 285, an outlier in the NFL, an outlier in the fucking NFL. And Derek sent me a video of Bryan just getting underhooks, had him pinned against the cage, and picked him up like a babe, and then just kind of gently put him on the mat and got on top of him. I said, what is that like? He goes, dude, he's the alpha. He goes, getting suffocated like that I never want to have that experience. It's crazy. But this is a long and short way of saying that Bryan trains heavy. He's got a warehouse for a
The
gym.
world's strongest man trains
Yeah,
heavy.
it's so
No
crazy.
way.
Yeah, like he's a guy who's right there. Like it's just
That's the thing we're trying to say is that spirit energy
yeah,
of what the world. So the world's strongest man shows up to jiu-jitsu and violates all the rules and still wins.
yeah.
You can have. We put that in a bottle, and you can have some of it. It's called Nandrolone Decay. No, I'm just kidding. It's not wrong. You can get your little version of that by getting fucking stronger in the gym instead of looking at the weight training or strength conditioning scene and getting real confused about if should I be standing on one leg and reaching my toe out while balancing.
Yeah.
And people are like, Roman and I are like, that doesn't do things that you think it does. It doesn't actually make you better at sports. And they'll say shit like, but balance is important for sport. And then we have to say shit like, first of all, is fucking literally not training jiu-jitsu or wrestling or Greco-Roman not sufficient balance training? Are you out of your fucking mind?
And flexibility. Because I was going to say, when you lift heavy weight, like you're talking about,
Yes.
There are two things that people will say. One is you lose flexibility.
Yep.
Bryan Callen had on Mike Israetel. By the way, way better studio that Bryan Callen uses. I don't know why him and Schaub just don't use this studio. I think it's because, is this at the mothership and, Rogan doesn't want Schaub there? I don't know, but whatever. Callen doesn't want Schaub in his much better studio he uses in Texas. But, so Callen says, I don't DM anyone. And Israetel goes, that's not what your defense attorney says. And then Callen brings up Fake Landau and his other opener. And Mike Israetel just says they're sex offenders. Because that's what Callen's friends are. Is Mike Israetel just messing with Callen this entire podcast? Or is he just making jokes that he would normally make, not realizing you can't really make those jokes with Callen because his career was destroyed? Everything you're saying's true. I guarantee you Callen tried to DM the Tigerman. Because remember, Callen tried suing her, and then he dropped the lawsuit because she accused him. Very credibly accused him, by the way. She had witnesses at the time from 20 years ago, too. And, one of them was an ex-boyfriend who would have, no reason to lie for her 20 years later. But, I mean, you can tell when he said that, too. It threw Callen off. It stunned him when he said it. And Callen had no idea what to do when he said it. But, Callen's podcast, why don't they just use this studio? I used to have that lamp that Callen's got right there. It's a pretty cool lamp. But, let me know your thoughts in the comments.